Okay, so today we will learn about TestNg. Okay, it's a very important topic, and okay, it's really useful for interview point of view also and project point of view also. We will write our test cases in TestNg. Okay, so what is TestNg? TestNg is a testing framework. Okay, it's a tool you can say, or it's a kind of API which is used to write your test cases. Okay, we never write our test cases inside the main method. This is not a good practice. Whatever we are doing so far, this is just for the practice point of view. Like we used to write our code inside the main method. So actually we never write inside the main method. For topic coverage point of view and all those things, we wrote inside the main method. But in actual scenario, if you want to use TestNg, we never use main method. Okay. So how to install TestNg first of all in Eclipse? Okay, that is the first important thing. So you have to open google.com and just write TestNg Eclipse download. Okay, we need to download Eclipse. We need to download TestNg on our Eclipse. So one URL is there. We need to find out this is the URL. Can you see that? Just copy this URL. Okay, and I'll send you this URL on chat. Just note it down. Okay, open your Eclipse. Go to help and install new software. Okay, and just copy paste here. So automatically once you copy paste here and enter, you can see that TestNg will be displayed over here. Okay, so you have to give this particular URL here, click on TestNg and click on next and finish. So you click on next. Okay, so it will calculating requirement and dependency and everything, and then it will take some time to install TestNg on your Eclipse, and then you are good to go. Okay, so I'm going to cancel it because I'm already having TestNg on my laptop. So you just need to do this thing. Okay, so it will ask you I agreement or something like that, and then click it and then click on finish, and then it will ask you to restart your Eclipse. Just Eclipse restart and then finish. So I'm going to cancel this operation. Okay, so let me quit, otherwise it will take time. Let me open my Eclipse again. Okay, so you have to download TestNg like this. You have to go to help and install new software. Just copy paste that particular URL. After that, once the TestNg is installed and you restart your Eclipse, what do you have to do? You have to add TestNg library in your project. This is my project. Just right click on your project, go to properties, and click on Java build path. Okay, then click on libraries, and you have to add that library. So just click on add library. So here you will find this TestNg option will be there, and click on next and click on finish. So you will see that TestNg library will be added. Can you see the TestNg library? And this important testng.jar file will be added in, okay, in your project. So TestNg library you have to add, and after that click on OK. So you can see that we have JRE system library, we have reference libraries, we have TestNg library also. Okay, now we are good to go with TestNg. Now we can write our test cases in TestNg. So I'll do one thing in src folder. I'll create one package. Okay, let's see, my package is TestNg practice. Okay, click on finish, and inside this TestNg practice I'll create one class. Let's see, we will write some test cases for halfebay.com. Okay, so let's see, I'll write, or we can write some test cases for yahoo.com, Yahoo mail test. Okay, so never select the main method in TestNg class. We never write the main method. There is no main method in testing, and click on finish. Okay, so one simple class has been created. Yahoo mail test has been created. Now what we have to do, we have to write some annotations. Okay, annotation means the first annotation is @ annotation. I mean @ before class annotation is there. Okay, so @ before class means this is your annotation. Whenever a particular keyword is starting with @, okay, that is called annotation. And always remember, each and every annotation is associated with your method, one method. Let's please be on mute. Okay, @ before class is there, and this is your annotation. Now, as I told you, each and every annotation is associated with one method, so we have to write one method. Let's see, public void, I'll write launch browser. Okay, so right now I'm not writing any Selenium code, just simple system.out.println. Let's see, I'm writing launch Firefox. Okay, so @ before class annotation is there. You have to import this TestNg annotation, right? Then we have one more annotation, @ before method annotation. So let's say I'll write public void, I'll write login. Okay, and then system.out.println login to app. Okay, and again @ before method, you have to import it from TestNg. Okay, so these are the two before annotations are available, and we have some @ after annotations also. I'll tell you what exactly the purpose of annotations and all. So @ after method annotation is there, and let's see, one method is there, public void logout. Okay, and then system.out.println logout, and just import this. And then we have @ after class annotation, public void, let's see, I'm using quit browser. So system.out.println quit browser, and import from TestNg. Okay, so these are the two @ before annotations, and these are the two after class annotations. Now what is the purpose? Okay, but before that, one more annotation is there. Now we have to write our test cases. So far we haven't written our test cases, right? So we have to write our test cases in the form of @test annotation. Okay, @test annotation is there, and then we have to write public void. Let's see, my first test case will be after login to the application. Okay, I have to let's see, search mail or compose mail. Compose mail test is my method name, and system.out.println, simple, you are writing compose mail test. This is my first test case, and import it from TestNg. Okay, import it from TestNg. So how many test cases we have? Right now we have only one test case at the rate test annotations. Okay, let's say I want to create one more test case. Simple, write at the rate test annotation. Again, method name public void. Let's see where some method is delete mail test. I'll write delete mail test. Right now, so right now we have two test cases. It means we have at the rate test annotation, two at the rate test annotations we have. So whenever if I ask how many test cases we have in this class, you have to count at the rate test annotations. So right now we have two at the rate test annotation. It means we have two test cases we have written, and these are the prerequisites. That obviously, if you want to run this particular test case, we need two things. We have to launch Firefox and we have to log in into the application. Then it will execute this particular test case and then it will log out. Now see how exactly the sequence works. Whenever you execute this TestNg class, the first test case, I mean not the test case, the first method will be called @before class method will be called. The first preference will be given to this. Immediately this @before class method will be called. After that, it will check how many test cases are there. We have two test cases are there, and then it will execute this particular test case. I mean this particular method. Before any test case, it will execute @before method, and then randomly it will pick any of the test case. It's picking compose mail. On third number, this particular method will be called, and immediately after this test case compose mail test, @after method will be called on fourth number. Then again it will check how many test cases are pending. Only one test case is pending. Before this particular test case, it will execute @before method. Okay, launch browser is only one time. Okay, and then it will execute on fifth number this. Then last test case on sixth number, and then on seventh number this particular test. Okay, so once everything is done, two test cases we have executed. Once everything is done, it will execute at last on eighth number @after class. Quit the browser. Okay, so this is a sequence. @before class, then @before method. Then it will check how many test cases are there. Two test cases are there. So before each and every test case, let's say it's picking this particular test case, it will execute @before method. Login, compose mail, log out. Again login, delete mail, log out, and then quit the browser. Now see if you run this program, how to run? Right click, go to run as test. Okay, click on it. See, two test cases are getting executed. Right, two get test cases got passed. Compose mail test and delete mail test. And see the sequence. Launch your Firefox, fine. Log in into the application, compose mail test, log out. Log in into application, delete mail, log out. And then quit the browser. Right, let's see. Now I want to write one more test case. @test. So just add one more test case, public void. Let's see, search mail test. Okay, search mail test. So again, I have now three test cases. One, two, three test cases I have. Right. So before each and every test case, @before method will be called. Okay, now see the output run as TestNg. Okay, now see, launch Firefox. This is the first test case. I mean, first method, launch Firefox, not the test case. Sorry. Log in into the app, compose mail, log out. Log in into the app, delete mail, log out. Log in into the app, search mail, and log out. And then quit the browser. So this would be the sequence. I'll copy paste it.
So, Nitin, this is just a sample test. Actually, this is not a test, right?
This is a test, but I'm not writing any Selenium code right now.
Okay. So this will be replaced by actual Selenium
Okay,
code.
actual Selenium. Right now, this is just for, okay, practice point of view. What would be the sequence? Okay, so add the before class method test. Right now, we have three test cases. Okay,
Okay.
now let's see. See, it's randomly right now. It's picking all these test cases. Sometimes it picks this particular test case, then sometimes this particular test case, and then this sequence is random. So if you want to define that, okay, I want to execute my test cases in a sequencing manner, then what you have to do, we have one keyword, priority keyword. So after, let's say you want to execute compose mail first, then delete mail, and then search mail. Okay, so you can define the sequencing also. So inside the bracket, after at the rate test, just write priority is equal to 1. Priority is equal to, let's see, I will execute second test case. It should be like this. Priority is equal to 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now the first priority will be given to this, then this, and this particular test case. But before each and every test case, add the before method, and after at this particular test case, add the after method by default. If you run it, see, login into app, compose mail test, login into app, delete mail test, login into app, search mail test, right? So compose mail, delete mail, search mail is getting executed in a sequencing manner. And one more thing, it will give you one very good output. How many test cases we have? Three test cases. No failure, zero failure. And you can see the results also, TestNg results like this. In this particular Yahoo Mail test class, we have three test cases: compose mail, delete mail, and search mail. Three test cases we have. Okay, so it's executing three test cases: compose mail, delete mail, search mail. Okay, and it will give you very good HTML report also. So once your test cases, you execute your class, you can see the results like this: three test cases, and just right click on your project and click on refresh. So after clicking on refresh, automatically one test output folder will be created. You open this test output folder and one index.html file is there. Okay, so you right click on this index.html file, go to properties, just get the location, copy this location, and open in your browser. You can open in any browser. Let's see, on Safari, I'll open this. See, a very good HTML report will be displayed. How many test cases we have? Three test cases. Just click on show. Compose mail, delete mail, and search mail. Three test cases we have, right? If you want to see the chronological view, see, first it's executing launch browser, then login, then compose mail, log out, login, delete mail, log out, login, search mail, log out, and then quit the browser. If you want to see on the basis of timers, you can see that three test cases we have written. First test case took around 6 milliseconds, then 1 second, then 1 second, like this. Okay, and then yeah, like that, you can get the very good report. So your test result report, very good HTML report. This is the advantage with TestNg, that you are getting very good report, HTML report. You can show this particular report to your manager or team lead, or okay. Now let's see. I want, what I'll do, I'll create one more test case. So you can create n number of test cases in your limitation. Public void.
So, Naveen,
Yeah.
we are going to, I mean, in real-time projects, we are going to create test cases by using TestNg framework, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So let's see. I'll write one more test case. Okay. Let's see. Send items mail test. Okay, and the priority is, let's see, I'm going to give this priority is equal to 4. So 4 test cases I have written. Okay, so out of these 4 test cases, what I don't want to execute delete mail test. I don't have time. Let's say you have 100 test cases and you want to execute only 90 test cases. The 10 test cases you don't want to execute. So don't delete them. Okay, don't delete that particular test case. Simple, you just need to write comma. You have to write enabled is equal to false. That's it. Enabled equal to false means this particular test case is not enabled. So TestNg will not execute this particular test case. See, you execute it, run as. See, only out of 4 test cases, 3 test cases: compose mail, search mail, and sent items. Right? Delete mail test is not going to execute. I mean, it's not getting executed. And in the result also, compose mail, search mail, and sent items mail, okay, could not be executed because enabled equal to false. And in the report also, if you can see the report, just refresh this page. Again, 3 test cases we are getting. Compose, search mail, sent items, delete mail test is not there. Okay, delete mail is not there. Okay, now let's see. For some reason, search mail test is getting failed. Let's see. I'll deliberately I'll fail it. Let's see. Int I is equal to 9 divided by 0. So obviously 9 divided by 0 error will be there, right? I equal to 9 divided by 0. We cannot divide any number by 0. So it will give you some exception, divide by 0 error, right? So this particular test case will be failed automatically. So in the report also, it will give you a very good, if you run it, see, out of 3 test cases, 1 test case is getting failed. Only 2 passed. Out of 3, 2 passed and 1 is failed. Search mail test is getting failed. And if you see the results, see, this is cross is there. Search mail test cross is there. And it will give you arithmetic exception, divide by 0 error. Rest of the 2 test cases are getting passed. Compose mail is getting passed. Sent items is getting passed. Delete mail we have already ignored. Enabled equal to false. Okay, and you see the HTML report also. Just refresh it. Now you see out of 3 test cases, 1 failed, 2 pass. And search mail test is getting failed. It will give you the reason. This is the reason. Arithmetic exception divided by 0 error. And how many test cases we have? Past test cases, 2 test cases getting passed. Okay, so let's see, out of 100 test cases, 10 test cases are getting failed for some reason, right? So you can show like this. I mean, yeah. Okay, now let's see. Now tomorrow again I want to execute it. So enabled equal to true once again. Okay, so by default other test cases will be enabled equal to true, so no need to write enabled equal to true, okay, for each and every test case. Okay, let's see, tomorrow I want to execute this test case, delete mail test, enabled, okay, make it enabled equal to true. Okay, and later if you want to make it disabled, then again enabled equal to false. Okay, so let's run it. See, again 4 test cases are getting pass. I mean 4 test cases are getting executed, 3 test cases getting pass, and 1 is failed. Which one is failed? Search mail test, because of divide by 0 error. So search mail test is getting failed. Okay, so any particular test case can be failed for any reason. Okay, so it will give you the proper reason why it is getting failed. Right, now let's see. Okay, so this is your sequence and number of annotations are there. Now let's see. I'll create one more concept here in TestNg. I'll create TestNg dependency. So don't select main method, click on finish. Let me show you one code. Okay, I'm not writing any add that before or add that math after or something like that. I have only two simple test cases because two @test annotations are available. Method 1 and method 2. Now forget about this int I equal to 9 divided by 0. I'm commenting it. Okay. So right now what exactly I'm doing here in method number 2, test case number 2, what I'm writing depends on method equal to method 1. It means this particular test case is totally dependent on method number 1. Okay. It's totally dependent on method number 1. Okay. So what do you mean by this? If this particular test case is getting passed, then only this particular test case will be executed. If test number 1 is getting failed, then method number 2 will be ignored, will not be executed. See, if method 1 is failed, then method 2 will be skipped. It means it will be ignored. TestNg will not execute this particular test case. Why? Because method number 2 is totally dependent on method number 1. How? We have written this keyword depends on method equal to method 1. It means if method 1 is getting failed, there is no point to execute, there is no point to touch this method number 2. If method 1 is getting passed, then only method 2 will be executed. Okay, now let's see. Right now method 1 is getting passed, everything is fine, we are just printing like this, and then obviously once method number 1 is getting passed, method number 2 will be executed and it will be also passed. Okay, so let's run it. Run as. See, both the test cases are getting passed. Method 1, method 2 getting passed. See the results, method 1 and method 2. Now what I want, let's fail this. Method number 1 will be failed. Method 1 will be failed. Now TestNg will come over here. Okay, TestNg will see that, okay, depends on method number 1. Oh, but method 1 is getting failed, so don't execute it. Don't waste your time on method number 2. Simple, execute it. Only one test case getting failed. Method 1, which is showing arithmetic exception, divide by 0 error, and method number 2 skipped. Can you see that? Skipped. So out of two test cases, one is getting failed and second number test case is getting skipped. Okay, you see the result also. Method number 2, method number 1 is getting executed. Method number 2 is getting failed. Not getting failed, sorry. Method number 2 is getting skipped. Why? Because it's totally dependent on method number 1 and method number 1 is getting failed. Okay, so this is the one more concept, depends on method. Okay, so we have seen priority, we have seen enabled, disabled, sequencing, different annotations, dependency. Okay, now one more concept is there in TestNg, grouping concept. I'll show you. I have code. See, what do you mean by groups? Let's see, I have 4 test cases. 4 @test 1, 2, 3, 4. Method number 1, method number 2, method number 3, method number 4. I want to provide some grouping that method number 1, okay, is related to inbox functionality. Method number 2 and method number 4 is related to search functionality. Okay, is related to search module. And method number 3 is related to sent items. Okay, so you can create, let's say, 100 test cases. 10 test cases are related to search, 10 test cases are related to inbox, 10 test cases are related to delete. Okay, like that you can differentiate, you can give the grouping. Method 1 is related to inbox, method 2 is related to search, method 3 is related to sent items, and method 4 is again related to search items. 4 test cases we have. And if you want to run it, simple run as, just remove this randomly. Okay, if you want to give priority, just write comma priority equal to 1 2 3 4 also you can give, and just run as TestNg class. See, 4 test cases are getting passed. Okay, method 1 2 3 4, and the result also 4 test cases are getting passed, 1 2 3 4. And if you see the report, just refresh it. See, 4 test cases are getting passed, 1 2 3 4, but it will give you 3 groups. Inbox, see, it will give you very good report. Inbox related, we have method number 1. Search related, method 2 and 4. Sent items related, method number 3. Okay, so like that you can differentiate, and just you're sending this particular report to your manager. So your manager will see that, okay, search we have 2 test cases, sent items we have 1 test case, inbox we have 10 test cases, like that. Okay, so grouping also you can do like this. Okay, now this is called groups in TestNg. Now let's write some basic Selenium code. Okay, how can you write Selenium with in TestNg? So let's see, I'll write half eBay test. Okay, so I'll write my test case like this: half eBay, site is the name. Okay, half eBay is my application and test is my class. So just write the proper name: half eBay test. Don't select main method, click on finish. It is totally dependent on, it depends on you that, okay, how exactly you are writing your test cases, how many annotations you want to introduce. Let's see, generally what exactly I'll do, I'll write only @before method, @before method before each and every test case. Okay, I'll write one test case. Let's see, public void one method, setup method is there, and inside the setup method, system.out.println, what I'll write, launch Firefox. So simple, launch the Firefox. So I'll make one WebDriver variable like this, global variable is equal to null. Okay, and import this from Selenium, so that this WebDriver driver will be applicable for all the methods. I'll define it globally. Okay, and then I'll write driver is equal to new Firefox driver and import this. Okay, import @before method also from TestNg and Firefox driver, and then I'll write my @after method, and then I'll write public void, let's see, my method will be tear down. Okay, I'm just giving any random name, some appropriate name, tear down. Let's see, system, or I'll write simple driver dot, once everything is done, driver dot quit the browser and import. Okay, now I'm going to write my test cases. My first test case, let's see, @test public void, let's open Firefox. This is halfebay.com, and let's see some test case I'll write. Okay, let's see, I'll enter some search. Okay, then select some category and then click on go. Okay, this particular test case I'll write. So I'll spy this. Okay, so public void search test. Let's see, my first test case is search test. Okay, so just give proper name. Search is your functionality name, and test, search test. So this is a good practice. It means this is your test case, and just import @test annotation, and then I'll write driver dot find element by dot name, because I don't want to use this particular XPath, and I'll use name equal to query. Okay, and dot send keys, let's see, I want to pass testing, and then driver dot find element by dot all categories. Although you can use select class also, or you can use directly send keys also. So let's see, I'm using send keys. Dir.xpath, okay, and dot send keys, and let's see, I want to select movies. Okay, and then